Hey guys, one last message from Mr. Hughes. As we prepare for our exam on Friday, and that's the first thing I want to make sure that everybody knows. Hey guys, one last message from Mr. Hughes. As we prepare for our exam on Friday, and that's the first thing I want to make sure that everybody knows. 7:30 a.m. cafeteria, massive review, beyond anything in your wildest dreams. Seriously, everyone's going to be there. So get a good night's sleep, all right? Don't cram too much the night before. You want to make sure you go to bed at a decent hour. And I know how stupid I sound saying it, but in a serious way, have breakfast that morning, all right? And breakfast does not consist of things with partially hydrogenated soybean oil, which means it can't come in a wrapper, all right? Even if you have some toast and maybe, have some fruit, really, in a serious way, it's going to affect the way that you feel and kind of your persistence through that exam. So just trust Mr. Hughes and do that for me. In the next few days, all right, you should be studying. Absolutely. Stuff will go away, and there's a lot in this course, and you might not have been here on certain days. You might have missed parts of this soap opera of American history, and you might have been here and you just need a refresher. So this is kind of the combination that I would use. You don't rely on one method. You find which one works for you. Definitely the videos. I'm not going to lie. I think that if you really pick a video that you think is super important, that you don't really feel really comfortable, maybe it's Congress. There's 2 lectures on Congress in the House of Representatives. Maybe it's executive power. Maybe it's sectionalism. Maybe it's a current event. We really didn't cover the 1990s well. Whatever it is, you can see all the videos on the YouTube link, and most of you have all 3 DVDs. Make sure that you pay attention as you watch it. Try to recall as you're watching it some of the ideas that we already taught you. And then when you're done watching it, think about it a little bit. Try to talk about it with somebody a little bit. Try to do something rather than just being a receiving agent. And then what I would say the next step is click that button that says multiple choice. There's a guessing button on them. This goes for anybody out there, by the way. And you can sign in as a guest, and Mother Jones is the username, and I Love Learning is the password. And there's probably 10, 15 tests up there that are pretty much identified by topic that related to videos. So that's how you apply that. You look at the types of questions that they're giving you, and you realize, look, there's only so many ways they can ask. The concept of Marbury versus Madison creating judicial review, and how that's part of the unwritten Constitution and allows for flexibility. Maybe there's 5 or 6 ways. But once you understand that, and when you watch that judicial review lecture, it's not a guessing game anymore, guys. You're gonna do really well, and it feels good to know stuff on a test. And especially if you've been unsuccessful in the past, it doesn't matter. All right? It just means that you had a negative learning experience. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe it was, a home problem. Maybe you didn't have a facilitator that really, aided you in the correct way. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that right now, right here, is that you can do this. So watch the videos. Apply the videos by doing the multiple choice. The other piece of this is the essay writing, guys. We can't ignore that. All right? Those of you that did your homework, you've written 8, 9 essays and it's critical that you remember some, big concepts about essay writing. Number 1, without a doubt, is dots or die. All right, you have to answer what they're asking you, and if you're not really direct with that, sometimes you can lose a point. You can go from a 4 to a 3 or a 3 to a 2, and that's 5, 6, 7 points. So you want to make sure whatever that dot is, and this goes for your thematic essay and your document-based essay as well, is that you address that dot directly with a topic sentence. The joke all year has been, why did the monkey climb up the tree? Let's take a look at some of the reasons why monkeys climb up trees. It's the hammer and the nail concept, okay, guys? You put that dot like a nail on that paper, and then you start by tapping it, and then you use that content to keep hitting it, and if you can develop theme, a way of swinging it, that's beautiful. But you got to swing the hammer, you got to aim it at the nail. And then as long as you hit it a little bit, we can give you some credit. Obviously, we would like you to pound that into the wood of knowledge. Oh, that's terrible. I take that one back. Basic document-based question. I'm going to tell you how to study for this stuff in a second. But no laundry lists. I beg you. I'm going to get down on bended knee. You can't see me. All right. Please, guys. for the love of all that's good in this earth, you must not just list documents. And you know what I'm talking about, that grocery list where you just give me the answer for each document. In this essay, we will take a look at railroads and their effects on America. In document 1, I learned that railroads killed Native American. And you can't do that. Document 2, that's not what this essay is about. The essay is not about the documents. Did you know that? I know it's called a DBQ, a document-based essay. It's not about the documents. It's about the history. It's a thematic with help. So it's important that before you even really use documents, you wrap your head around the big idea. Is it about change? Is it about industrialization? Is it about imperialism and the hunger for raw materials and new markets? Is it about, how muckrakers and how agents of change can influence the masses to enact change? What is that theme? And then write to that theme. Divide those documents up if possible. It's not always possible. But generally, they're going to ask for a positive and a negative. They're going to ask for social, political. They're going to ask before, after. They're going to have some way to divide the documents. And if you can do that, we learn that kind of sandwich method of dividing documents and creating really strong topic sentences and then doing that format. I'm going to say it because I only have a couple minutes. But let's say the essay is on, let's do an easy one, the positives and negatives of industrialization, right? And you have a document, and the document is about the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1888, nativism, xenophobia, right? Here's the topic sentence. Let's take a look at some of the negative impacts of industrial age. One document that clearly expresses this idea can be found in the Sanford Sun Daily Chronicle. That's that citation we talked about. It's great in parentheses to put document 1 or to say document 1, but if they give you fancy, schmancy historical citation, you might as well use it, right? So according to the San Francisco Ledger, we can see that the Chinese Exclusion Act was a sad episode in American history. That's a little bit of that, that shine that you put on it, if you can get some, nice flow in there. But then you go back to the history, right? What is outside information? The Chinese Exclusion Act, and then use some factual information. According to the document, expelled X number of Chinese and had X number of incidences of violence. You're using that document much like you use that hammer to hit that nail. Tag your OI, back to bended knee. You need to write OI, outside information, on your documents as you prepare and you do your scaffolding. So when you're doing the Chinese Exclusion Act, you write the word OI, nativism. And then when you are writing that essay, there it will be waiting like a bullet in the chamber to fire at that target. So one more time, topic sentence. Let's take a look at the negatives, industrial age, right? Citation. According to document 1, the San Francisco Telegram Ledger, use the information. We can see the negatives through use the content, use the data. This is clearly an act of nativism, and nativism throughout American history has had negative consequences. It's that rhythm, guys. Citation, use document, use outside information, end with a big idea. Another document which clearly, I don't mind the repetition a little bit in the language, as long as you're aiming high, you're swinging hard, and you're doing the right thing. Use as many documents as you feel comfortable, all right? If you can use all the documents, go for it. If you feel comfortable. If there's a couple that give you the willy-nillys, drop a couple off. But don't go for this half plus one business. Use as many as you can. It's really important. Finish your essays, even if you feel awful about it. Format matters. If you have a conclusion, I can give you a 2 if there's some type of truth in there and you've done your dots. If you skip that conclusion, you're in big, big trouble. We're actually out of time, guys. We're going to see if we can edit this in, all right? At the end of the day, guys, you're all going to do well if you study, all right? Shoot for that 85, that 95. Don't shoot for that 65. And thanks for being my student, all right? We all learn together. We all have these experiences, and hopefully you've learned how to like learning. I think that's really important. And where your attention goes, energy will always flow. And all that is necessary for evil to triumph in this world is for enough good men to do nothing. and women.